I think that it ends exactly the way it needs to end for the ideas, that Suzanne had in mind for the series.
So I want to start this off with a fan question. A fan by the name of Clevver wanted to ask, how did you guys celebrate the last day on set?
Wow, celebrate. Well, we were in Berlin and we were shooting in, I think it was an old courthouse or something, and there was a scene between Jen and Woody. And Josh and Liam had already wrapped, but they hung around, and so they waited for wrap to be called, and we wrapped, and then the crew and the cast gathered in. God, it was this this large ante room or something, and we had champagne, and people spoke. I spoke a little bit. Woody said some really nice things.
This must be bittersweet for you coming to Comic-Con for the last time as a crew together. We're really excited to see the action that's going to happen in this upcoming movie. But if this movie does really well, Lionsgate is talking about maybe a prequel or a sequel. How do you feel about that?
It's entirely up to what the story would be. I mean, look, if Suzanne Collins came up with an amazing story that was part of this world, I'd be there in a second. It's really all about the story and the characters, and it's not an easy thing, because to do stories without Katniss would be really tricky, I think. So
my next question was going to be, do you think some of this cast would be willing to come back for maybe a prequel or a sequel?
Look, if the right thing was figured out, I'm sure everybody. I think everybody had an unbelievable time making these movies. Everybody really enjoys each other's company, had fun being in the world, inhabiting these characters. And so it was, I think everybody had a great time. Everybody looked forward to coming back. Often when people are sort of hooked into franchises, it's a bit of a burden knowing, oh, I've got this other one, I've got 9 months on this thing, and then the next year I'm going to have another 9 months. And everybody really looked forward to it. It was really, really fun.
If you could change, we all know there's a book and we know how the story's probably going to end, but if you could change one thing about this final addition to the franchise, is there a storyline or maybe a scene or something that you would like to change?
I don't think I would. I really don't. I'm really attached to this last book, and especially to this last movie, and I think that it ends exactly the way it needs to end for the ideas that Suzanne had in mind for the series, and for the themes involved, and the emotion and the history of the characters. I have no regrets. No big changes I would make.
If you want to be in Jennifer Lawrence's BFF squad, you gotta get naked. Yeah, we'll let her explain in that box on the left, and on the right, Josh Hutcherson talks about joining Tinder.